Hey there, I am back with another deck review. Today I'm going to be looking at Seekers from Dan and Dave Buck over at Art of Play, as well as North Carolina-based designer Billy French. Make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video. I have news about not one, but two giveaways. So if you want a chance to enter and win on those, make sure you stay tuned to the end. But first, let's take a look at this deck of cards. Seekers tells the story of two battling factions which are struggling to achieve victory before our light or our flame is extinguished. We see a lot of symbolism and imagery in here representing those two factions. So it's the living versus the undead, or kind of those two factions. But starting here with the TUC Case, it's a really beautiful matte, kind of a soft feel to the TUC Case, but it is covered all the way around with this bronze and silver foil. Really cool. I like the look of bronze foil quite a bit. It says Seekers across the top, has 2017 in Roman numerals, premium playing cards, and then here in the center is a large spade pip with that torch or that flame. Remember I mentioned in this story that they're battling to achieve victory before that flame is extinguished. So there's that literal flame. The flame is kind of centered in this really beautiful portal doorway with the Eye of Providence right at the top. And then the stairs coming on the side and kind of this starry background. So really cool and detailed look, and just tons of detail in that foil all the way around. So really beautifully designed. On the sides, one side says artwork by Billy French, along with the spade and club pips on the sides. The other side, produced by Art of Play, with the red pips, diamond and heart. Bottom just has your ad copy for Art of Play and Billy French. And then on the top, you have some continued design work along with the sun and the moon. The back's going to be kind of a foiled version of the back of the cards. So you can see the interlocking rings and the eye there, and there's tons of line work in there. But we'll take a closer look at it with the actual backs of the cards. And then all through here, there's some really nice embossing done all the way through. It's not really heavy embossing, it's very light embossing, but like the rings here and some of the foil gives it just a little bit more texture to it. It does have a custom tuck seal, so it's got the 2017 red postage stamp style seal with gold ink. It says Seekers at the top, and then kind of a portal with a keyhole in the center. So that is the outside of the tuck case. As you open it up, if I can get this open, there's a little bit more foil printed on the inside, along with another Eye of Providence, and then more foil on the inner flaps. And then you also have this dot, or they're kind of diamonds and dots continuing on as a pattern all the way through the TUC Case. So giving a little bit more on the interior as well. So that is the TUC Case, but let's get to the cards. Start with the back design. So here it is. It's a fairly simple and clean back design. It's all done in white and blue. So the background is kind of a navy blue color with white ink. And as you go through here, you can just see it's a really kind of like a maze going around the outside. So this pattern going all the way through, and then the center has this large diamond with the starry background, and then the interlocking rings forming the Eye of Providence on the inside. We got the four little diamonds in the corners, so giving it some extra interest, and then just a regular kind of medium poker border on this one as well. So really nice, but actually relatively simple by today's standards, kind of back design to it. I like the sort of triple border effect that you get here. So you have the white, then the blue, then this sort of white lined border here. So I like the multiple effect of the border, as well as that kind of maze pattern running through. So there you go, that's the back design of the cards. Extra cards that you get, so you do get two jokers. And these you can right away see are the two factions. You've got the living and the dead. So these black, or it's actually really dark blue here, cards are going to represent the living faction, and the red cards are going to represent the undead faction. They both say the Joker at the bottom, and they both depict kind of a sorcerer, but from each of the factions. So the red obviously is kind of a skeletal look to him, holding his staff, and then you have the wizard over here holding his. And then just has two stars in the corners. So there you go, there's your two jokers. You do get two ad cards. So one for Art of Play, just with a standard back, and then one far more ornate one for Billy French, along with that interlocking rings there in the center. And then lots of mentions of his website there, www.billyfrench.com. And again, with a standard back. There you go, that's the extra cards. Let's look at the rest of the deck. So here's the Ace of Spades. No words or anything on it. Just has a fairly standard pip configuration up here in the corner. Just a slightly custom spade pip, but then the center is going to have a large spade pip, again with that flame of humanity represented there and kind of a starry background. So it's very simple by Ace of Spades standards, but nice, very clean as well. And then just a regular white background to the card. All the number pips are going to be custom as well. Not super custom, just kind of a spade pip done in dark blue, and then has a little bit of extra decoration in the pip to make it a little bit more interesting. Other than that, it's a pretty standard layout to the pips on most of these. So there are the number cards. You get one little, not really sure what the meaning of this is, but the 10 of spades has a little extra X right there in the center. And then here are your court cards, and they are really beautifully done. So these are all drawn up to represent, as you remember, this is the living faction here that we're looking at with the blue or the black cards. So you have just sort of different warriors and characters, but they're still pretty reminiscent of your classic court cards. So there's nothing too out of the ordinary or too weird on this one. But you have the jack here with a patch over one eye and holding a spear. You have the queen holding a cup, and then the king holding a sword. I really like the kind of star-filled background effect that you get on some of the clothes, but it's all done up in this sort of metallic ink and navy blue. So really nice design to the court cards. I like how unique they look, and yet still fairly familiar and approachable if you're used to it for regular gameplay. And then here are the diamonds. Again, a little bit of custom ornamentation. These have a little bit of an extra flair to the diamonds, which is interesting. And then here are the undead courts. So very much the same, but obviously all the figures look a little bit more skeletal in their nature. So you have kind of a Grim Reaper look over here, the queen holding a flower, and then the king with a sword. And then here are your club courts. Back to the living. And it's interesting here, I don't know whether this was intentional, but I think there's a parallel between a couple of them. So like the diamonds and the clubs are meant to be sort of parallel characters. You can see here, both of these are a king with a crown holding a sword. And if I advance to the queens, you've got both the queen, the living and the undead queen holding a flower, and then go back to the jacks. And you have both these kind of robed characters as well. And then you also get a parallel, as I thumb really quickly through the clubs here, you have a parallel a little bit between the spades and the hearts as well. So if I look here, for example, at the king of spades versus the king of hearts, they're both, again, a crowned king holding a sword. Of course, one of them is the suicidal king on the heart side. Advancing to the queen of hearts, they have a very similar kind of headdress going on, and then the jacks are both holding kind of longer weapons and wearing a helmet. So I'm not sure if that was an intentional look to kind of give those parallels between the two cards, but interesting if it was. So there's your jack of hearts, and then down through the hearts until you get to the ace of hearts. As far as handling, so these are done on USVCC stock, but they're done on Dan and Dave's proprietary thin stock. So they're a really thin feel to the card, very snappy. Love how these cards handle. They fan really, really nicely, just really easy to handle. I'm not much of a cardist myself, but that said, these are a real pleasure to handle, like all Dan and Dave decks. So definitely recommend checking these out for that. Uses of the deck, pretty functional for most anything. Dan and Dave decks are always going to be really good for cardistry because of their handling. It's a really approachable deck for gameplay because while it is fully custom, those courts are still really familiar in their layout and their feel. And you can use it for Magic as well. I mean, it's definitely not so crazy of a deck that it wouldn't be great for Magic. So really functional, really useful deck. That is the Seekers playing cards. Now, promised that I would get to a giveaway. And kind of big news because this is a dual giveaway. So first off, on my channel, I'm going to be giving away a gold Split Spades deck from David Blaine. So if you want a chance to win this, here's what you have to do. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Tell me, let's say, what is your favorite review that you've seen on this channel? So let me know what your favorite deck is that you've seen on this channel. Throw it down in the comments, and you will be entered for a chance to win the Split Spades. That said, that is not the only chance that you have to win. This is actually a dual giveaway along with a friend of the channel, Magic GNS. So Magic GNS is going to be giving away an Art of Play deck on his Instagram page. So if you want a chance to win a second deck, the Art of Magic deck. If you want a chance to win a second deck, the Art of Magic, then go to his channel, and today he'll be putting up a giveaway for the Art of Magic deck. So go find Magic GNS on Instagram. I'll put a link down in the description where you can do that. So you'll have a chance to win a gold Split Spades here and an Art of Magic deck on Instagram. So good luck to everybody. And that is it. So that has been the Seekers review. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have more questions. Subscribe if you want to see more deck reviews, or if you just want a chance to win a gold Split Spades. And I will see you for the next one.